Well, after being announced as the Nickelodeon Kids Choice Awards, the first African host in 2022, Lerai Rakoditsoe is set to grace the ceremony again this year. Lerai will host the African special of the awards, where she will also present the award for the Favorite Star category. Nominees in this category are Trevor Noah, Banyana Banyana, Scorpion Kings and Msaki. She joins us now to tell us more about this. Well, Lerai, thank you so much for joining us in our studios this morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. And congratulations. Another one of us making us proud and flying the South African flag high. Talk to us about that. It must be exciting and such a moment of pride, I'd imagine, for you.
For sure, 100%. The biggest thing for me is the fact that I get to not only represent my country, but my continent on a global stage. And, you know, it's one thing that shows every child that is watching us across the entire continent that it really is possible, and these are spaces that we belong in.
Yeah. I mean, the Nickelodeon Kids Choice Awards are huge. We're coming off an amazing sort of award season anyways, you know, with the Grammys, and this is on a similar platform. You know, we've got international artists and icons and movie stars getting awarded on this particular platform. Just talk to us about the show itself, what sort of preparation you're expected to kind of go through to carry out this task.
So as Nickelodeon Africa, we have got our African special of the Kids Choice Awards, which means we've got two specific categories for African stars, which is, as you mentioned, the global, the African star, as well as your favorite African kidfluencer. So this is an opportunity for, you know, our Africans to also be awarded on such a global stage. I mean, the preparation that we are putting in right now from here already is crazy. We are in pre-production, and there's, all I can say is there's a lot that we're going to be creating. We've got the actual awards show, but we've also got a special of, you know, me exploring Los Angeles because I've never been there. So there's going to be something else that also is as well afterwards.
Let's talk a little bit about you. I mean, as a young and aspiring presenter to have landed on a stage this size, I mean, what has your journey been exactly?
What I can say is I definitely put in my 10,000 hours. I mean, I started training for drama as a whole when I was 9 years old, and it was my bread and butter. So it genuinely, it's such an honor to be able to be given the opportunity to showcase my talent and to show everybody that it is possible to do it, you know.
Right. Talking about showing everybody that it's possible to do this, I mean, were there any moments along your journey where, even though you had put in your 10,000 hours, you know, moments of doubt, where you question if this is something that is for you? And if so, how did you overcome that? You know, because you don't get to where you are without jumping over a few hurdles. We all have that, don't we, sometimes, especially this industry. I mean, you definitely have to have thick skin. And I mean, my mother didn't allow me to start working professionally until she saw that, listen, okay, Lerai, you've got the emotional maturity, you are grounded in your principles and your values. And I think that's really what it was that set me on my path without being able to be knocked over by anything, because there's a lot of external factors that can really affect who you are as a human being. I think the main thing that keeps me grounded is the convergence of my passion and my purpose. That is where I've literally got a tunnel vision of that. I'm staying in my own lane, and it's about that meeting point. That's so impressive. You know, we talk about the likes of Trevor Noah, who have, you know, flown our flag so high, not just for South Africa, but as you've mentioned, representative of the continent as well. What are your thoughts on, you know, the interest that is on the continent and what we have to offer, you know, in our many talents, in our many resources, in our innovation? There's so much that Africa is kind of like brimming over, wanting to share with the world. And what's lovely is that the world has an appetite for it. You're a part of that movement. Talk to us about that and how you hope to kind of like continue to shape that conversation.
I feel like it's about time, don't you think? It is about time. But also the fact that, you know, we've got so many greats that came before us that really paved the way and showed us how we need to do things. And so I'm so appreciative of everybody that in the South African industry, as well as, you know, across the entire continent of Africa, that has flied the flag of Africa, well, their respective countries high, and have paved the way for us. You know, I mean, even those that have passed on, I think it's the main thing is to carry out their legacy as young people, and man, the world is looking at us right now, and we really need to show that African excellence, and we are doing it.
Absolutely. I mean, now that we know that the Grammys are possible, not just to host, but to win, now that we know that Oscars are possible, you know, not just to host, but to win as well, Nickelodeon Kids Choice Awards is possible. What is next for you? Because I think it's so important to champion the narrative that it doesn't have to end here, it doesn't have to stop here, that there are so many other great heights that one can still go for.
Well, I have a strong passion for, you know, the African youth, its culture, and especially promoting things like youth entrepreneurship. And I think one of the biggest gaps in, you know, in our country is the education, but sort of the bridge between working and, you know, leaving school. And so what's next for me, I mean, I've got my entrepreneurial endeavors. I've got a learning, well, I won't say too much about it, but we've got a learning platform that we're working on as well. I'm also a social change maker, I like to say. So there's a whole lot of stuff that, you know, we are working on behind the scenes that will be coming out near the end of the year.
Well, Lerai, thank you so much for joining us in our studios. All the best when you host the awards. I know that they're next month, and I know that you'll do us proud.
Thank you so much for having me.
That was TV presenter Lerai Rakoditsoe.